All right. I don't know what I want to say. I had a lot to say before I started the live stream, and now that it's on, let's see here. Let's go through this. So yesterday, I was super depressed. Couldn't do anything. But then I went and got 2 energy drinks and basically slammed them both. 600 milligrams of caffeine. Don't do that. But suddenly all of these problems that I've been having seemed easier to solve. And the number one thing I've been that's been killing me is just whenever I try to make a video of a demo, it just goes really, really slow. And it's like, why am I even making this video? Like, it's just showing people that my chatbots suck is all it's doing. Like, what's the point of this? But at the same time, I don't know, I didn't want to dig in and deal with figure out what the cause of the slowness was. And it was like on the back end of my server too, where it would just go slowly. I couldn't even like edit files without it. It would just stall out. However, I did some things to fix the slowness. I had a lot of ideas about how to fix the slowness. And it kind of bothered me because after just a couple of them, the slowness was fixed. And so it was sort of like nagging at me that I didn't do the other ones, which some of them I do definitely need to do. But the main thing, let's see here. So I did make this server test. By the way, a lot of the slowness tends to start whenever I do a YouTube live stream. So this alone might cause it to start up again, which would suck. However, I kind of need to try to make sense of my life. And so I can either talk to myself or talk to a video. And I'm choosing talk to a video. So anyways, so I did make this server tester, which should give me some ability to figure out what is taking so long. But even that was slower than it normally is. And I'm assuming that's because of the YouTube. Anyways, so but a couple of things that I didn't do yet is like for the feed bots, I mean, okay, so the review bots tend to go quickly. And the reason the review bots go quickly is because it's just the system prompts are set up in such a way that it will just give you a one-line response until the review is written. And then once the review is written, then it will give you the whole review, and that one takes a little bit longer. But so for the post making bots and also the feed bots, like it just creates the entire response before it says anything to you, which is not. I mean, there's nothing. That's not about my server. That's not about anything. That's purely about uh, the system prompts and setting up the system prompts so that it just says chatbot. So it just gives you the response from the chatbot until you tell it like what you want to write a post about or what you want. So what else? But I basically uninstalled. I deleted like at least 6 or 7 WordPress installs on my server, and that really seemed to make the difference. So hopefully that the main cause of the slowness has been fixed, which means I can make demos for people. Which I was making on Tuesday. Started to make demos, and I was making them like 5 or 6 at a time. In terms of like determining whether or not they have WordPress, and then if they have, like, I need them to have WordPress and to have a Google Business profile. If they don't have those two things, then basically I just skip them. And so, like, if I start with like 10 of them, then I can, one won't have a Google Business profile, another one won't be using WordPress, so then I'm down to 8. But in terms of, I can make the review bots like 8 at a time. That's no problem. And then I can make the feed bots like 8 at a time, and then the post makers I can make 8 at a time. That's all good. And then it slows down a lot when it comes to the FAQ bot. Uh, because right now I have to do that manually. I have to like go on ChatGPT and be like, go to this website, create an FAQ for them. But I'm pretty sure I have all the elements in place to automate that whole process now. And the reason I have all those elements in place because yesterday I got a little bit sidetracked, I suppose you could say. Um, and I made I made a WordPress bot, basically. Um, but the idea is that it pulls in, it's very rough right now. It's not even close to being done. But I think if I just keep making more of them for different companies, then it's, incrementally, it will get to the point where it's good. Um, right. So what this does is none of this is pre-programmed into system prompts. It is 100% grabbing information from their WordPress site. So if I click list pages, it will go grab all of the pages from their WordPress site and turn them into buttons. But I did filter it. I filtered it so that it only shows pages with the word service or price or about or contact, which is still, as you can see, for this one, it's still creating some buttons that are probably not necessary, that shouldn't really be on there. Like the thank you after contact. Yeah, that's not necessary to be in there. So there's a couple of things I could do for starters, like I said, if I just keep making these for different companies, then eventually I will, hone it down to the way it is. So for this one, I could just, like, that's the only page with the word contact in it. So I could just remove the word contact from the filtered words and that would be fine. Um, but one other thing that I could do is just run these buttons through an API call and have it decide which ones are worth creating and which ones are not worth creating. Like something from 2021, probably not worth including. But anyways, so when you click on web design pricing, when you click on any of these, first of all, it gives you what ChatGPT referred to as a noise response. Wow, so slow. Actually, that part is kind of supposed to be slow because of how much it's generating here. So this is the noise response. Holy moly, holy friggin' moly, you're pressing the buttons. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that it could identify that it was a button press. But it's suppressing the normal behavior on button presses, which would be to switch out the system prompt. So we're staying in the system prompt. However, because it's grabbing titles and using the variable titles, it's changing the title each time a post is pulled, which honestly, I just need to change the variable name. That's really easy to fix. I should have already fixed that. But so it shows you, it finds the page that I pressed the button for. So if I wanted to just open that page up, I can do that. And this is like just this is the raw content dump from the page, which I believe it does it it does it two different ways. It tries to use the WordPress API, the WordPress JSON REST API, but if that doesn't yield any content, then it just grabs the HTML, the raw HTML, and then it filters it for a few different things. But you can see that I'm not sure which one was used on this, but it's sort of like it's a raw dump of a lot of garbage. Um, However, this one has been sort of filtered through a chatbot. So it took all of this information, I believe, uh, and made it sort of like a good response. So that's great. So that means one way or another, I'm still not entirely sure how I want it to work. Like, do I want it to just be pulling information from the pages, like pull like 4 or 5 key pages and just use that as information? Um, but one way or another, uh, you can basically, without actually creating system prompts or whatever, or like I can use a chatbot to traverse a WordPress site. And in theory, you can ask it questions. But again, there's just a lot of different options in terms of how this should work, or whether this should even be one bot or multiple bots or whatever. So, um, but yeah, so now a chat, but then, so basically if I have like, if you can grab all of the pages and then filter for significant pages and then grab all the content from those significant pages, it's pretty easy to take that information and create an FAQ from it without having to rely on the web search API, which is expensive. Um, so let's just make another one. It's still kind of nagging at me that um, I didn't fully do all of the things that I thought I could do to address the slowness. Because in addition to changing those system prompts, another thing is just there's just a million system prompts in the system prompt folder, uh, and it has to like sift through all of them on at many different points in time. And so I was planning on making more nested directories. So for example, like um, categorizing them by city would be a good way to go. Let's see here. What am I even looking for? There we go. Okay, so 702 pros and acute SEO. We already have things for them. Reg review, FAQ, post maker, and blog feed. Uh, So here we go. Time is it? 3:38. I don't know if it's a good time. Is it time to switch to Australia or not? Anyways, I'm just choosing Adelaide because it's the first one. So I took that browser bot or the browser, and then for the 702 Pros, and put it in the Adelaide file. And now all I need to do is update the URL so that it is the URL for Adelaide SEO marketing. Let's make sure we got the right one there. AdelaideSEOmarketing.com.au. All right. Oh, it's taken a long time. See, it's just saving the small edit took a long time, and that's on the back end. So if that's on the back end, and we've got problems with the server, um, possibly caused by YouTube. Maybe YouTube is just eating up my RAM. I don't know, or eating up my network capacity. I don't know. All right. So let's, as an example of how this is problematic. If I click on directory index, I should be able to navigate to the Adelaide SEO, but you see it's taking a long time. Now, part of the reason it's taking a long time is because of the YouTube. Part of the reason it's taking a long time is because there's just a lot of directories to traverse there. But still, no, it was going way faster than this when I wasn't on YouTube. So, might be a YouTube issue. See, we're getting nothing. What is the problem? Come on. Let's go, buddy. So it should be listing all the directories, and it's not doing that. Oh, shit. Okay, I accidentally clicked the wrong one. Try it again. It did actually semi-work there at the end. Okay, we get no response. Okay, here we go. It did list all of the directories, so that's great. And what we're looking for is Adelaide SEO marketing. So it would have been a million times faster to just put in the URL. But I basically stopped using the directory index like that because of how slow it is. And so I just wanted to test it based on, because okay, so these all pre-existed, and now we have the browser, which again, it will go on Adelaide SEO marketing. It will list all of their pages. It'll turn their pages into buttons. It'll filter them for the words service, contact, It seems like I'm filtering for SEO. Huh. Also, I am not 100% sure whether or not that file is going through all. Uh, is it going through all of the pages? I think it's not looping through all of the pages. I think it's only uh, like if there's more than 100 pages respond, which obviously these guys have made these service location pages so that they have SEO plus every single place that you can imagine. Let's just check one out. Let's see what happens when we check one out before I do anything else. Okay. Well, at least it's working. We know this much. Oops, forgot to put the code in. All right, it's only retrieving the first 100 pages. So here's the thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just edit the keywords so that it doesn't include SEO. Because obviously for these guys, they have a million. All right, let's just start a new chat. Oops, no, okay, I'm not gonna traverse the directory again. We're just gonna put sample equals Adelaide SEO marketing. Did I get it right? Got it right. Beautiful. All right. Now let's see what the list of pages returns when we oh no, nothing happened. When we remove SEO, okay, so either I created a syntax error when I edited that, or my guess is that, oops, I wasn't even sharing that. Yeah, so it's not, when I click list pages, it doesn't list anything. So my guess is that they have so many SEO pages that the entire list is of SEO pages. And so what I need to do is what just saying here, which let's see. Well, I mean, I'll just paste that in there and we'll see if it works or not. But my guess is it almost never works. When you ask ChatGPT to generate some code, and then you just copy and paste it in there, very rarely does it actually work. Sometimes for your own, I mean, you don't want it to rewrite the entire file because then it could introduce errors that for sections of the file that were working perfectly. And so you ask it to like just create a block, but then what happens when you do a block is you can make a mistake of putting it in the wrong spot. And for this particular file, I have like these nested if statements, which um, there we go. I think this is the spot. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna have it generate the whole file, because again, I already have many versions of this file that are working fine, and so if it breaks this file, it only broke it for Adelaide SEO marketing. It didn't break it for all the other ones. Um, but it might also save me time. It might work on the first go and save me time, which has been doing a better job of doing lately. And I think the reason is, I think ChatGPT 5 learns from previous conversations a lot better. So when it first was introduced, it did suck more, but it seems like that said, I mean, that is its own problem when you're trying to do something different than what you normally do, and suddenly it doesn't work. Okay, so let's give it another try. And I might as well go ahead and open the error log up right now, because you know we're gonna need it. All right. List pages. So this is going to slow things down. Assuming it works, it's going to slow things down because it's going through however many pages there are. Look at that, though. It seems like it worked really well. Um, except for that, it put in SEO again, which I had deleted. Because we do not want a million different little SEO pages. So I just re-deleted the SEO word, and let's find out what happens here. It would be really nice if I could just not show the chat screen when I'm live feeding or live streaming, seeing as there's never anybody chatting. Oh, okay. Contact us about and services. Cool. That's exactly kind of what we're looking for. And so the thing is, yeah, if I can just pull up these 3 pages consistently like that, then creating an FAQ bot for them is super simple. And honestly, I wouldn't even need to put the FAQ into system prompt if I didn't want to, because you could just grab, wow, they have an office in Greece. So this part, this like raw data dump, I want to suppress that. We're going to suppress that in a second. But let's first see what happens when we click all 3 of the options. Let's just make sure that we're going to a real page here. Get go. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna see whether or not I can suppress that. Let's see here. The raw data dump. I mean, so the issue is it's really easy to just not put that into the conversation history. The problem is if I don't put that into the conversation history, then I don't know that like I don't think the chatbot will know what the hell we're talking about at that point because it's using this information right here, which is in the chat history, to create this response. So if it doesn't have this information, then it won't know how to make this response. I was gonna just keep going with it, but better do a new chat because otherwise it's gonna use the previous data to. Yeah, see, it's just giving like the most generic data ever. So I'm gonna do a super lazy way. Um, so I'm just setting the system prompt to um, this is the raw HTML. No, this is the raw text. It's not HTML. That might confuse it. This is the raw text from the page the user requested. Use it to make a coherent response, and then the text. And most likely I just created a syntax error and that'll be a problem. But yeah, so we'll just see if the laziest possible way of handling that scenario is going to work. I bet you it works. Okay. I bet you it works enough to move forward. Okay. Beautiful. That worked. That worked well. So that was services, and now we want contact us. Let's see. Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, so let's just use that file and choose a different company and make another one. Action. So we got actioninteractive.com. Whoops. Okay, so we need to go back to Adelaide. Take that browser, copy it. All right, so now we got that in action. And now what we need to do is just change the URL so that it's the correct URL for action instead of Adelaide SEO. And now I'm going to change the URL so that we're talking to the action demo. Action spelled AKTION. Browser, there we go. It is on there. Realize contact form. Services about contact. Cool. All right. So if we put let's see what happens if we put the word SEO back in there. because maybe these guys have a reasonable number of pages with the word SEO in them. Huh. Um, it's possible they have 0 pages with the word SEO in them, or it's possible that I don't know. Yeah, seems like they have no pages with the word SEO in them. Oh, I had no idea they were based in Minneapolis. Oops, I was sharing the wrong screen. So yeah, as you can see here, these are the buttons to the pages. None of them say SEO. All right, let's check if they have a sitemap. Where's my sitemap finder? Not on here. Okay, it's possible I need to set the sample to tools to use the sitemap finder. Damn it, what is happening here? Okay, I know what to do here. It's not in the tools directory. It's in a different directory. Are these guys not, are they not an SEO agency? Huh, okay. But they don't have any pages at all that are like, that actually say, that are titled, they say SEO in the title. Huh. Um, let's go back to there. Just kind of curious if I can find. Happening here because I clicked on the services and it brought me to the about page, which is wild. Whoops, I spelled services wrong. Okay, so even if you type services in there, it goes to the about page, but if you click on the services page, there's no such thing. But there are child pages. Including online marketing, which maybe I should include that in my filter. Online marketing, website design and development, application development. Okay, fine, let's do it. So let's just add and marketing design develop. Um, all right. I'm gonna comment out the part where it says "Holy friggin' moly, you are pressing my buttons" for now, because I think we have much evidence that it is correctly identifying button presses. Now, what were the terms I wanted to add? Design, development, and marketing. And we'll see if it starts to list those child pages. It doesn't even know about its own list of pages. Okay, so we got these web development and design page that was not on there before. Let's make sure that it's linking to the right. I think it is. Let's try. Um, Online marketing. So this is the content I should have pulled in: search engine optimization, web analytics, local search, social media, PPC banner display, and email marketing. Let's see what it talks to us about here. Search engine optimization, web, local search, media, paid advertising, email marketing. So pretty close, pretty good. Uh, any other ones we wanted to check out? Not really. I'm a little bit confused as to what is going to happen if we click on this realize contact form. That's kind of cool. That all it did was just give us, clearly there's no information. I wonder what is realize November 17. What is it? Is that a thing? Should I know about this thing? Is it from 2024? It's a popular single from a 2007 debut album, Coco by Colby Callet. No, I don't know. All right, I have no idea what that is. Which it probably shouldn't be on here. To be fair, it shouldn't be on here, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Right. So in theory, what I could have it do is like the FAQ bot could just have a list of these pages, and then based on your input, the user's input, it determines which page is the most likely one to have the answer and just grabs the info from that page to answer your question, but then rephrases it. Um, Instead of just giving you the raw data. But there's probably still merit to not doing it that way. It's probably, it's probably a lot faster to just have an FAQ bot. But the idea behind the FAQ bots, ideally what I would like it to do is like, first of all, it's an automated process where it like grabs these pages, grabs the content from these key pages, um, turns it into a system prompt with, answering frequently asked questions. But then it's also a web form. So the FAQ and the web form are together. And then it can you can trigger from within the FAQ/web form uh, the ability to do a SEO audit of your site. Um, and then in the event that the answer is not within the FAQ, it will automatically trigger the RAG bot and try that one. That's kind of the idea, but that's kind of a lot. Even though I've done each of those things before to like put it all together in one thing. And then of course, the issue is like the reason why I want to list all of the available chatbots like this is so that um, like people know all the different things. Whereas if you're hiding functionality inside of one of them, Like if the FAQ is actually a web form, it's like for me, I'm not advertising all like web form bots. I can make SEO audit bots. Like if I split them out, that's better. Um, but the idea is, but if I made the index bot smarter, basically, I could have them listed, but then it wouldn't matter that they're that like you could easily trigger the SEO or the FAQ while you're filling out the web form without any problems. It's kind of a lot though, because at some point, you need to query different bots. But I could also make it so that because like right now the response is coming from one bot or another. But if I wanted to be like that, it would like get a response from one bot, go back to the index bot, choose a different bot, get a response from that bot, have the index bot tie it all together. But I could just add a streaming layer at the end, and I could even make that streaming layer be attached to my sales bot. So no matter which bot you're talking to, regardless of the inputs, you're going to get a streaming response, and you can trigger a sales conversation about me creating your custom chatbots at any time, no matter what. That's kind of the direction I'm going in here. We'll see. We'll see. But we're gonna get there one step at a time if that's what we end up doing. So, anyways, where were we? Should we do another one? All right. I don't know. Whenever I get lost and confused about what I'm doing, the answer is always just make another demo, basically. Augurian. That is a difficult name to spell and a difficult name to pronounce, I will say. Oh, wait, what is happening? Oh, wait, I know. Okay. Okay, so for Augurian, we're gonna keep all of the keywords that we used before. And we're gonna get all of their stuff, all of their pages, not just the first 100. What if they have thousands and thousands of pages? Damn, they have a podcast? Where are these people? Let's find out. 612. Oh, they're local. Local, but I know that building very well. Okay, cool. What was I doing again? That's probably more pages than we really want to list, but it's fine. I don't know. It's fine. Damn, they got 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. 2001 now. Let's see here. Local SEO citation tool. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, that was it. Services. Okay, very cool. So, should we make some improvement list pages? Let's see here. Um, oh, right. Okay. So the thing is, the first thing I want to do is fix this. So where it's like, that's what I was going to do, the last one. That's what I forgot about. Where it's saying services there, because that's what I clicked on was services. It's kind of cool actually, but nah. We want it to just stay to keep telling us the name of the chatbot that we're using. Um, and at some point, I might use that title for another purpose. So I just need to figure out where we're using the same variable name that we're using. There it is. So we're just going to change that name to page title. Camel case is hard. All right, that should have fixed it. So now instead of saying services in the left-hand corner, it should. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find any cool people to follow from Augurian people. 22 of them live in Minneapolis. 3 of them went to the Carlson School of Management. 15 of them do marketing. They're skilled at SEO. Top in marketing. They studied marketing. And how am I connected? I have a third degree connection with 22 people. And there's 25 people on there. I'm gonna follow all of them. And then I'm gonna go to Where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go to the Paddy's Pub. They should really, um, Paddy's Pub should really hire these guys. They're not, I don't know if they're doing great. I'm gonna go to Paddy's Pub and we're gonna drink some Irish beer or something as soon as I mean, it's Irish themed beer made in America, I guess. All right, where were we? Okay, so from now on, this in the top left-hand corner where it says services, it's changing depending on what link I click. That should stop happening. It's still happening. Wait, what? Huh, it is still happening. Why is that happening? Am I editing the right file? I'm not. That was the wrong file. No, I might possibly have broken the action file. Let's do it again. Okay, that was the right file. Let's find out. I either broke it or from now on, it's just going to say browser up here the whole time. We're going to know that we're talking to the browser chatbot. There we go. It says browser. And now, even as we go through the page titles, it will keep saying browser. So far, so good. Tell me about content marketing agency. Or just don't. Or just don't. I might have broke it. I might be, wait, did I already? Yeah, this is the first. It might be that I broke it, which would suck because I edited 2 files in the same way. So now 2 Falcon instead of 1. I bet you I just introduced a syntax error somewhere. Oh, it's working. It's crazy. I wasn't even looking at the chatbot, but I realized it was working because of the YouTube. I wonder why that took so long though. I didn't really need to do that. Well, this is definitely not switching. It's probably still worth it to check the error log and just see if there's any really crazy errors going on. That looks good though. Wait, what happened? Yeah, okay. It looks like it's working fine. So the only other thing I'm gonna do right now, well, no, again, I should check. I'm gonna check the error log first. Let's just find out. Um, all right, I'm not really seeing any crazy errors. Huh, it is not using the WordPress JSON to fetch the content, which is too bad. It's much faster when it does. I wonder why it's not. Uh,开始啦. Um, okay, so the content, there's no content if you try to access the page so that's why it didn't use the WordPress JSON, which is fine, which is correct. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. If there's no content, then it's supposed to fall back to just grabbing the HTML. So that's cool. Now the only thing I want to do is make it so that, you know how it says no matching page or ID found? I don't want it to do that. When there's a no. When it's a yes, I want it to do that, but when it's a no, there's no reason for that. So where the hell is that at? Um, okay, so now it should be the case that when it finds a match, it tells us, but when it doesn't find a match, it just skips um, this message right here where it says no matching page or ID found. It just skips it. I'm definitely gonna have to change the name browser. That's not. It's like when you're coding, when you're thinking like very logically, that's the type of question that is, because it could be anything. I mean, it's not like there's a reason why it has to be any one specific thing. Um, and like I'm in logic mode. But when you're not in logic mode, this is another thing that I should probably fix. This is probably the next thing on my list of things to fix. is that it gives you that message. Because basically the chatbot doesn't know what the hell's going on the whole time until finally we give it the raw text data from the page that we pulled. But prior to that, it doesn't even know about these pages listed, for example, because these pages are just, we're using the WordPress API, and then we're inserting a button for each one into the conversation history. But when we make the API call, we filter out all the buttons. So the LLM doesn't know that there's a whole list of buttons here. And that's probably not too hard to fix. I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to fix, but for now, I'm more interested in just like making sure that core functionality works, and then we can worry about the weird things like that afterwards. Okay, so it has not been warning me that there's no matching pages found. But let's make sure that it still tells us when there is a match found. Very slow. What are you going so slow for? I'm a hero. See that? I'm not, they're not. Og, they're not the hero. I is. Here's a whole bunch of people that I just tried to add on LinkedIn. Great photos. I wonder, do they offer photo services? Photo whatevers? Let's just see what happens if I just ask. I can help you find company. No, you can't. No, you freaking can't. That's a system prompt problem right there. All right, what about in the services section? Let's see if they, yeah, I'm not seeing anything about photography in there. What about in the list of pages? I was gonna say this is like, that's a good reason. To create the FAQ file, just grab the content from the core pages, then you can ask questions like that, like do you offer photography? And it should be able to give you a very fast answer without even, but also you could, if I gave it access, if I made it aware of this list of pages, and I could even pull in an excerpt or a description of each page, and then have it just decide which page do you think is most like, and then pull the content from that, and then use that to craft a response. All of that, even though that's like a lot of steps, each of those steps is relatively simple. Anyways, yeah, I didn't see any information about photography. I wonder if there was a photographer listed on there. Whatever. All right. So we're done with Agorian. Okay, so the Google AI view overview tells me that yes, they offer photography services. ChatGPT has a slightly less direct answer. So whatever. Alright. Let's do one more. Kind of want to be done, but one more time. What are we doing here? Okay. So let's see here. In alphabetical order, after Gorian, we have bold SEO. So we're just going to copy the browser file to bold SEO's directory. And then we're going to go to the bold SEO directory. And then we're going to grab the correct URL. boldseo.com.au. And we're going to give the right, give it the right URL. All right, now I'm going to change the sample to bold SEO. And let's test it out. That is a weird response right there. Let's remove the word SEO and see what happens. I mean, it should only have like one page left, which is weird. Yeah, there's only the web design page. Let's make sure that at least that works. Hopefully it at least works. All right, let's just let's check them for a whole. Check them for a sitemap. just see whether or not we're missing pages. That said, if people do like headless SEO or headless WordPress, then that would mess things up. Slower and slower. It's getting slower and slower. So we've got their sitemap. Let's open up their page sitemap. Let's talk. Interesting. Okay, so basically, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. We're not missing things though. All right. Okay, well, oops, I stopped sharing my screen, didn't I? Well, at least you know what, for them, I mean, they don't have like a crazy, I thought maybe it was like there was so many. Okay, so that is the wrong file. Let's go to them. I'm gonna put SEO back in there. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick stab at just letting the chatbot know about the list of pages. I'm thinking about where's the best place to this is the raw text from the page the user requested. User incoherent response, raw text. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Never mind, because I'd have to create a string and then feed the string into the system prompt and then make it so that it only does that when you're listing pages and not normally, all of which should be done, but I'm just not gonna do it right now. And obviously, you can have I could just tell ChatGPT to edit the file to make it do that. However, if I just have it edit the entire file, then I have to test it thoroughly which is gonna end up taking longer than just doing it piece by piece. Uh, or so then I have to have ChatGPT write various chunks of code and tell me where to put them in and whatever. I'm gonna just play a little bit of Clash Royale and see what happens here and try to narrate my Clash Royale playing because I've never done that before. Even though it's very pointless. But maybe I myself will want to relive this moment. So let's see here. So far, he's got like the furnace monster. I don't even know what that guy's called. He's throwing the furnace monster at me. Oh no, he's got the skeleton king. Um, I'm like 4 bars up on League 4, which is pretty good this early in the season. He also has the Goblin Hut, which is an absolute beast of a card when used properly. Completely destroys. Um, so I basically just fended off his first push, and uh, and then after fending it off, I put down an elixir tower, and he responded with graveyard and baby dragon on the other side, which did a lot of damage to my tower and killed my elixir tower, my elixir pump. And that is definitely the defining feature of his deck is the graveyard. I'm always looking for the defining feature of the deck. And it's definitely the graveyard. I should have responded with a balloon, but instead I put my mortar in the middle. That was dumb. Um, hasn't shown anything that's like really good against balloons yet. I don't think he has a tower. And then he's just got the ice wizard and the baby dragon, which will stop a balloon, but they won't do a good job of stopping a balloon. All right, so he went ahead and did another graveyard, and he used poison as well this time, and it did totally destroy my tower. And I actually did correctly use the um, oh my god, the balloon, but he used the goblin hut, which I should have thought of is actually really good. I mean, when I said he doesn't have a tower, he has a goblin hut. That's a type of tower, basically. But yeah, no, he's kicking my ass. There's no hope. I'm definitely gonna like. I didn't even. That was ridiculous. I didn't even come close. I almost didn't damage his towers. All right, let's do one more. All right, he's starting out with the, I don't know what the hell you call those little guys, those little too fast little bomb guys that just explode when they hit something. And he's got the Mega Knight. He played in the back. Mega Knight is kind of a defining feature of a deck, but I would say that if he has like the barrel goblins, that is a more defining feature. Um, so he's got the, what's that, princess or whatever. Oh, he didn't get her special power off, so I held on to my tower. If he would have made her invisible, man. Okay, so he's like crazy, crazy ground strong. He's got the prince with the Mega Knight. The only thing that he has had shown in the air so far is the one that goes invisible, the purple one that can go invisible. He's with the Mega Knight might push. I think the only spell I've seen is Zap, and then obviously he's got those two fast little bros. But I don't think he's got a big enough spell to take that. I've got 700 left on my tower. I don't think he's got a big enough spell to take it with spells alone. So as long as I can keep his ground pushes at bay. All right, so he played the archer the in the back, and since that's his only good air card, I went ahead and threw the balloon on the other side. And now he Mega Knighted me, and I just need to nice. Couldn't get the Mega Knight to the tower. And she's dead. Oh, he's got arrows. That's not good, but it should be okay. So he threw the um, archer again, which I could have thrown the balloon on the other side. Seems like it worked last time. I'm throwing the mortar way back. So I'm getting real defensive, which is a little crazy when you only have 400 left on your tower. But it would take, I mean, it looks like all he's got is, zaps and um, arrows. So he would have to do a ground push to get to my tower, basically. And so as long as I'm throwing, yo, I've got a problem here. Oh, fuck. His ground push got through. Okay, I just thought that narrating might help me, but I don't think it's helping at all. I think it's making me play way worse. So I'm done with this.